This is Larry Anares making your day with part 5 of Philippine history for those who had flunked the subject. Chapter: The Chinese Imperialists. As late as 1795, the Chinese emperor was prevailed upon to meet and accept an English ambassador. He acted as if it was a hell of a nuisance and much in the nature of pure nonsense, but it made the barbarians feel good. He supposed he ought to do it, but this tremendous self-containment is precisely why the Chinese are among the world's greatest traders. They do not attempt to proselytize. They have no mission. Their business is to trade, and they stick to business. Quite unconsciously, in fact, before the West verbalized it, the Chinese practiced commercial imperialism. Very much like the British, they went together with their capital to manage it. They formed foreign settlements. While the West boasted of inventing the installment plan, Chinese have been practicing it for centuries. From time immemorial, from wholesale to retail, the Chinese merchant lent his customer the money to pay for his goods, to be paid with what his customer produces. Rightly or wrongly, there is a feeling that the Chinese merchant has an abacus where he should have a heart. For the privilege of trading, the Chinese community is quite willing to pay the privilege of government. In short, to corrupt it. This practice is also done in the West, but the difference with the Chinese is threefold. First, there is no hypocrisy about it. Secondly, it is taken as a norm of business. And thirdly, as our businessmen have urgently and correctly observed, it is impossible to do business without it. More about this after these messages. This is Larry Anares making your day with an article I wrote on Philippine history for those who had flunked the subject. Part 5. Chapter: The Chinese Imperialists. Now there's something serio-comic in the bloody history of European empires of the past 5 centuries. Only in the last half of the 20th century has there been a glimmering of what the Chinese have known and practiced for at least a millennium, 1,000 years. The truth is that the last thing in the world an expansionist people should want is control of a foreign government. In simplest terms, government is a liability. The assets are in trade, profitable trade. In everyday terms, who in his right mind would be willing to assume the cares and costs of maintaining the police and the fire departments of a city if he could achieve instead the operation of its profitable department stores? The Chinese overseas traders have realized this for untold centuries. Unobtrusive, low profile, it is they who have been the great imperialists, eschewing glory, even accepting insult, but adamantly adhering to their own customs, proselytizing nothing but the sale of their goods, spinning their silken threads of credit to monopolize trade, to bind by debt as completely as ever a serf was bound to the land. Virtually unnoticed in many countries, they ensconced themselves in wholesaling, retailing, and banking, which is nothing more or less than the economic circulatory system of any body politic. With almost extrasensory perception, they expanded. They're here before the advent of the Spaniards. They came in droves later, and as Chinese-Spanish trade developed through the Manila Galleon, it was extremely profitable all around. Though early in the game, the Spaniards marred the occasion by suddenly opening up with artillery on the Chinese outside the walls of the Parian Gate in Intramuros, with the result that 24,000 Chinese suddenly joined their hallowed ancestors. But this occasional and sporadic program against the Chinese infidels forced the Chinese to integrate into the Filipino society by intermarriage and Hispanizing their names, giving us our lichaucos, our seasons, our limbs, and tangkos. More tomorrow, my dear friends. This is Larry Henares, making your day, saying good day, God bless you. Thank you very much for being with us. Till next time, hasta la bye-bye.